Mr. Arisem, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. I'm here to speak to the public at large. The CPOA's executive director is in violation of a federal court order, and that's the court-approved settlement agreement, paragraph 183 to be specific, and most likely the requirements of his contract, and he has done so with the full cooperation of this board. On May 2nd, 2019, the Federal Monitor reported to the court that the CPOA Administrative Office, and in turn this board, are not in operational compliance when it comes to interviewing complainants when performing investigations. The Monitor Compliance Recommendation 4.7.169A is, quote, interview all witnesses. If known witnesses are not interviewed, explain in writing why they were not interviewed, unquote. To put it simply, the executive director, with this board's approval, has not conducted investigations that are thorough and in compliance with a federal court order. On July 16, 2019, over 3 months after the Monitor's report, 5 members of this board, barely a quorum, failed in their duty to supervise the executive director and knowingly approved the executive director's unlawful actions by administratively closing at least 2 cases wherein the complainant was not interviewed. For the record here, I'm referring to CPC 06519 and 06619. On August 18, 2019, over 4 months after the Federal Monitor's report, the public learned that another case was placed on this board's consent agenda by the executive director to be administratively closed, wherein once again the complainant was not interviewed. However, the complainant filed public records requests and obtained significant information not reported in the investigation. She appeared at that meeting and persuaded the board to table the question and send it to the Case Review Committee for recommendation. It is my understanding that since that time, the case did not go to the Case Review Committee for open public discussion and recommendation to the full board today. Instead, the full board voted to not administratively close the case, assumedly by holding a secret rolling quorum outside of the public's view in violation of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. I suspect the full board went into damage control and decided breaking the open meetings law was preferable to further exposing their executive director's law breaking and in turn their own. For the record here, I'm referring to CPC 11419.
Thank you, Mr. Arisem. Your time has expired.
Excuse me?
Your time has expired.
I'm almost finished. May I? I'm the only one here.
You're not the only one here.
Well, I mean, for public comment.
You're not the only one here for public comment.
May I finish? I just have two more paragraphs. Today, there are 40 cases set on the consent agenda recommending the board approve an administrative closing. How many of the complainants in these cases were not interviewed? Will we see if the board cares to ask if known witnesses were interviewed, and if not, is it explained in writing why they were not interviewed? Absent that simple question, the board continues to allow their executive director's actions that prevent achievement of operational compliance with a federal court order. As a member well, I'm going to skip that paragraph. I implore the public at large to petition the Albuquerque Council to follow their own unfulfilled CPOA Ordinance, Section 9-4-1-11, requirement and issue a request for proposal for an independent consultant to undertake a complete evaluation and analysis of the entire police oversight process and recommend any necessary changes or amendments that would appropriately improve the process.
Thank you. Geraldine Amato?
Your secretary has a full copy of this, and I expect it to be put into the record verbatim.
Thank you. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from last month?
Madam Chair, I had a question for the director on the item of public comment. Director Harness, Mr. Arison raised a point here, and I just want to ask you a couple quick follow-up questions. Is he correct in reporting that the monitor did list the agency and the board being out of compliance for the reason of not interviewing witnesses?
Chair Galloway and Member Olivas, I'm not sure where, which monitor, excuse me, I'm not sure which monitor's report that came from. It may have been referencing one particular case, but there have been numerous cases that have been reviewed by the monitor where there has not been an interview of the complainant because there's no evidentiary value that that complainant has to offer, especially when they're a third-party complainant. So his direct reference, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at all of the reports.
I agree.
Okay, I may follow up on that later in the meeting. Thank you.
May I?
No.
IMR 9.
No, thank you. Mr. Arison, have a seat.